Okay, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're viewing this, and welcome to our next week's information, which is starting the restaurant business. So we'll spend a couple weeks on this. First off, on the business side of it, thinking about some food trends, thinking about classifications of restaurants, and how some of our restaurants could really fall into multiple different categories or classifications. I do like to point out that on the trends page, I do have a listing of articles that I've found, and it'll be interesting for you to read them to see, what was the predictions for 2022, and did you find that to be true? And what does it look like in 2023? And I even found one that is suggesting 2024. So kind of interesting things to consider if you are interested in learning more about the restaurant business or potentially even opening a restaurant at some point in time. And so when thinking about the restaurant business, I think it's pretty adaptable for everyone because most people have eaten out in their life, so they've been able to have some kind of experience to be able to draw from to really think about this. I did want to spend a little bit of time on some of the activities that we're expecting to be able to complete both by next week and then also really future forward. So I did post the food and beverage assignment a couple of weeks ago so that you could start thinking about the ask as you were learning each of these weeks. And so that food and beverage assignment is going to be due on February 17th. We'll take a look at it together now, and it's really going to be focusing on all of the chapters 4 through 7. And so as you're learning the material, you can also be thinking about what restaurant you're going to share an experience with, and by really looking at the concept, location, menu, ambiance, and classification. So this is the first week we're thinking about classification. This submission can be either a written report, or you could upload a video presentation or a PowerPoint or something on YouTube, whatever you like, and submit the link. And so really this assignment is not designed to be completed now, but rather March 17th to give you an opportunity to learn a little bit more of some of those factors that we haven't covered yet. The questions you should be answering is, does the restaurant match the factors of its neighborhood and demographics? What is the beverage program, which we just focused on last week with all of your great presentations? And does it fit the concept and clientele? And did it include any sustainable practices? So did you find any kind of evidence that they were thoughtful to the environment in terms of maybe their recycling efforts, their sustainability as it relates to the distance that they are, is it locally sourced? And some of those things. So I'm really looking forward to seeing those food and beverage assignments, like I said. And then the other item that we wanted to review, oh, so sorry, everything got loaded here a little bit crazy, is the next one that's kind of a future forward as well is the mind map assignment. And this assignment, you're going to watch this video, and it's really going to be kind of a way for people to be creative and be able to think about your thoughts about your career in hospitality. So maybe you already had some thoughts coming into the class, and as we go week by week, hopefully you're building on those and maybe removing some of the options that you thought and found something different. So when you watch that video, it's going to give you an example of how to mind map. And I want to stress that you do not need to purchase any software. You can definitely do this by drawing it out on a piece of paper or using a simple computer program that you already have to be able to draw out kind of stream of consciousness of what it would look like your career in hospitality. What are some of your strengths, weaknesses? What do you need to be able to pursue that career, whether it be education or experience, what your interests are. So this is a pretty fun exercise that you would be able to use some creativity. Your branches, again, I talked about education and schooling. What are your strengths and weaknesses, experience that's required, and really your big why. Why do you want a career in hospitality if that's what you're interested in? And so that one is actually going to be due April 21st. So we're just keeping that in mind, that you have that to start thinking about, and so that you can ask as many questions as possible. I am also posting a reminder about the beverage presentations discussions. I've already seen a lot of good feedback on the discussion thread, but as a reminder, we're asking one question and answering one question on the presentations. It doesn't have to be on your own, but I wanted to see some participation on some of the great work that all of you did on this particular assignment. And then the last one that I wanted to make sure that I highlighted was actually the assignment that's due this coming week. And it's build your own restaurant. Oh, this is so exciting. So thinking about some of the concepts that are in the learnings for this week, if you were to build your own restaurant, what would your concept be? What would be your market? Who would you be trying to attract to come to your restaurant? What is your location? What are the ambience or decor elements that are included? For example, if you're going for quiet and intimate, then you're going to want to have a lot of soft fabrics on the walls, on the floors, to make sure that it creates that quiet environment. Vice versa, right? Hard surfaces like cement and wood would really cause noise to reverberate and make it a louder environment. So that's what I mean by ambience and decor elements to match what concept you're going for. And then your menu design and pricing, I'm just asking for 3 menu items. It could be an appetizer, a main entree, a dessert, whatever is applicable, and a beverage menu. And then the pricing for each of those menu items. So I'll give you a little example. If I was thinking about a concept of a breakfast diner, that would be my concept. And the market that I would be locating it in would be in a downtown area where I'm trying to attract people that are on their way to work. So that would be kind of my location, right? I would select a city, we'll say downtown Redwood City, and then the ambiance and decor elements that I have for my particular restaurant, and then 3 menu items. Obviously, if I'm selecting a breakfast location, maybe appetizers and desserts are not as applicable, although one could argue that a donut could be a dessert. But I would give 3 menu items. Maybe it's Eggs Benedict, and it's a classic breakfast, and it's an oatmeal. And my beverage menu, I would maybe talk about coffee, tea, some fresh squeezed juices, and then I'm going to assign a price for each of those menu items. And so this is pretty exciting. Again, a little bit of a creative flair that you're able to exercise. And then we'll build on this as we learn in the next week about restaurant operations. We'll kind of use your answers for this to the next assignment, which is build your own restaurant too, that allows us to really think about it then from the business side. So the restaurant business is first kind of the fun, creative, big concepts and dreams, and then we'll look at how we put some of those to life. So I really hope that you enjoy the journey that we're on to learn a little bit about restaurants, and I welcome any questions that you have, and I wish you a good week ahead. Thank you.